This isn't any old group of foreign tourists finding out about the mud pools, geysers and cultural heritage of Tapuia at Whakarewarewa in Rotorua. They're Christian broadcasters from all over the world. They're here in New Zealand this week for a forum to pool information, ideas, research and resources. All affiliates of UCB International, United Christian Broadcasters. Denis Delaney is UCB's Managing Director.
A forum for us is really a benchmark for UCB International. It's a very important benchmark. It's the only time that we really get everyone together, and in our role as really a service organisation to these affiliates, learn where they are at and how we can best perform our role of supporting them, providing the sort of services, probably filling some gaps here and there, maybe helping them to take some initiatives by seeding a new project somewhere, or finding there's a management requires some sort of support area. And it's here where you actually sort of get the feel of the whole thing. You can go around them individually, and when you get together with all the affiliates, you see trends, you see strengths.
Delegates have come from Oceania, Asia, Europe, Africa and North and South America to share their ideas. Hal Short is UCB's president.
The key thing has been obviously bringing people in from different parts of the globe. It's a forum, it's a family event where we're bringing in the affiliates and key people from different parts, from as far afield as Brazil to Africa. We've got people from Asia here and Europe, and they get together and they can actually talk about common problems and common issues and build the relationships.
It's a ministering organisation for the church, and it does have colour. I think that's the benefit of being autonomous affiliates. So each can actually be what they need to be, not what, say, a head office dictates maybe they should be. And that's where you get this tremendous colour. You get this, in fact, it goes right down to the personal, the CEO called to that particular nation, and the board working with that CEO and the people on the staff to actually uniquely reflect the situation there.
This year's forum, however, developed an overriding theme, that the broadcasting industry is in the midst of a huge upheaval. Dick Jenkins is the founder of K-Love, arguably the world's most successful Christian radio station, with an audience of millions across the US.
This is a time of great change because we're finding so many other choices and sources for listeners and viewers. It's really becoming an era of the internet, audio and video delivered everywhere digitally, digital broadcasting, satellite broadcasting. There's so many choices that people have today, and that's what's really changing the whole radio spectrum.
And the competition isn't just from other broadcasters. Andrew Pitchford from UCB Australia has made a special study of new trends online.
Well, I look at my kids. I have 4 children from 10 through to 17. And now my children don't come home, turn on the B105 FM radio station and start listening to it. They go online, they surf the web, they found a streaming radio station from wherever in the world. My son is listening to The Edge out of Manila, chatting with friends that he's never met them before, but they've become part of his life. And the other thing that I'm finding interesting for young people is that community is now happening online. And where we have concerns that our young people are not being taught, they're actually being mentored, for good or bad, actually on Facebook and MySpace and in the chat room. So we've got to participate.
And even the audience is changing. Michael McQueen is a social researcher from Sydney, Australia. He says the differences between baby boomers and generations X and Y are enormous.
People are a little bit sceptical of talking about generations. There's this sense that it's just about generalising and boxing people. But the reality is there's a lot to be seen in understanding how the era we're born into shapes us. The things that we see are normal or appropriate or proper. And so often it's the things that happen when we were under the age of 10 and that happened to all of our peers at the same sort of time. That shapes our worldview. And so it's so critical to understand how we see the world, and then to compare that with how people from other generations maybe see the world differently.
Dick Jenkins says the different generations are forcing a change in the way we consume mass media.
Radio, of course, is a very old invention, became very popular after World War II. Television came along, radio was still popular, but since the internet has come along and begun to change our lives in such a dramatic way, radio listening has changed. They have shorter attention spans. They want their programming when they want it, not when you want to offer it. And people have become more focused on getting what I want, when I want it, how I want it, and That's a big challenge for broadcasters in general.
I have this kind of understanding that when we had the beauty of radio, we used to say that it reaches behind the closed curtains and the closed doors of our community. That was the beauty of radio. We could speak into people's homes. What's happening now, though, is that they're not turning on the radio, and we still need to accomplish the same result. And I find that people are actually getting up, going to work, coming home, having dinner, switching on the laptop or the computer, and staying connected right through until the early morning hours, then going to bed, going to work, and the cycle repeats. Now, where is their community? Where is their intimacy? It's coming through the various social networks that they're involved in. And I think we've got to participate there, because the reality is that's where people are looking for love in all the wrong places.
IT expert Skip Parker says the medium may change, but the message remains the same.
I mean, we've still got the gospel message. That hasn't changed. It never will change. It stands up in every medium that it's been in so far. As we push it into social networking space, so we push it into even the new augmented reality spaces, that's going to be the key word for this year, it will stand up, and it's still the same message, Christ on the cross, dying for our sins.